That's the opposite. Just in case, I've got 2 camels that I'm taking care of every single day. So that maybe the Prophet ﷺ would take me as his companion on Hijrah. The Prophet ﷺ did not tell him that he would. And if the Prophet ﷺ did not go to his house and tell him that he's going to be with him, then we might not have ever gotten that documented. But وَنَكْتُبُ مَا قَدَّمُوا وَآثَارُهُمْ كُلُّ شَيْءٍ أَحْصَيْنَاهُ فِي إِمَامٍ مُبِينٍ. Allah Azza wa Jal would have written it down regardless. Whether it happened or didn't happen, Allah Azza wa Jal would have written the preparation of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu and the tending to those camels the entire time. And so when the Prophet ﷺ shows up to his house, As-suhba ya Rasulullah, As-suhba ya Rasulullah, is it real? Is it real, the companionship? He starts to cry. That person who doesn't even take getting to Ramadan for granted, who doesn't even know, who truly, who doesn't hear the reminder that you might not live to see the first day of Ramadan as just like, we know, the Imam says that every year. You might not live to see Ramadan. I know. But the person who actually thinks every day, إِذَا أَصْبَحْتَ فَلَا تَنْتَظِرِ الْمَسَاءِ وَإِذَا أَمْسَيْتَ فَلَا تَنْتَظِرِ الصَّبَاحِ. Every day I wake up, I'm not going to even expect that I have the evening to look forward to. And every night when I go to sleep, I'm not sure if I'm going to have the morning to look forward to. That person who's preparing themselves for Ramadan and even now is not sure if they're going to catch Ramadan. And then Ramadan starts. And then they walk into the masjid. And then it's the first night of Taraweeh. Alif Lam Mim. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. And they're overcome by emotion, like Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, because they weren't sure if they were going to live to see that moment. And at that moment, imagine how Allah Azza wa Jal looks at that person. Your preparation is a proof. If you really cared, you would have prepared for it. You would have cleaned up the house for this noble guest. You would have made time in your schedule for this noble guest. You would have accounted for certain things. You would have removed the baggage. You would have removed the luggage that's unnecessary. Here's what I want you to think about, dear brothers and sisters, because multiple amthal of the Prophet ﷺ, multiple parables of the Messenger of Allah ﷺ speak to us on a journey. We're on a journey to Allah Azza wa Jal. Kun fi dunya ka'annaka gharib aw 'abiru sabil. Be in this world as if you're a stranger or a wayfarer. The Prophet ﷺ mentioning that the example of him to this life is like a rider that takes a break under a tree, takes some shade for a moment and continues going. Multiple examples where the Prophet ﷺ is explaining that we are on a journey. We're on a journey. When you are about to embark on a journey, what do you take into consideration? The very first thing that you take into consideration is finishing what is necessary so that you can embark on the journey. It's the first thing you take into consideration. Have you done everything that needs to be done to set yourself up for the journey? Did you prepare for the journey in the sense of getting rid of whatever it may be? And that's why the Prophet ﷺ taught us that when you need to relieve yourself, or when you have some sort of haja that you need to get it done before the salah. Don't come running to the salah and not having done those things. Do it and finish yourself so that you can come to the salah clear-minded, clear-hearted. So let me get done my work. Let me get done whatever I need to before this actually happens. In the sense of Ramadan, the journey of Ramadan, that refers to 2 things: sins and distractions. Let me get rid of the sins. Let me shut the sins that I need to shut. I need to shut this file with Allah Azza wa Jal. Some of you are waiting for Ramadan to make tawbah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do you know how disingenuous and insincere if Allah Azza wa Jal takes your life today and Allah Azza wa Jal raises you before Him and says, why are you doing this sin? Ya Rabb, it was Sha'ban. I thought Ramadan was around the corner. What are you saying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? No, you quit the sin now, not when Ramadan starts. So shut the files of the sins, shut the files of the distractions. The second thing that the scholars mention, the provisions for the journey. Ma'ad, what are the things that you're taking with you for the journey? What are you going to have with you in Ramadan that's going to propel you ahead bidhnillahi ta'ala? Do you have the Quran, its space? Do you have the Mus'haf? Do you have the plans? Do you have the provisions that are necessary for the journey to go along? Number 3 is time. Leaving early. Making sure that you're following along. Allah Azza wa Jal gave us a divine prescription. He gave us a divine prescription. You have an Ashr al-Awakhir. You have to build yourself up in these 20 days for the last 10 nights. And every single night of Ramadan, Allah Azza wa Jal has utaqa, people that He frees from hellfire. So I'm going to look for every single night as the potential night that I'm freed for hellfire, and going to build myself gradually through the first 20 days until the last 10. There's no middle dip. Allah Azza wa Jal did not give us the middle dip. We have 20 days on an incline, and then the last 10 on a super incline. So you made the time for it. Your preparation is a proof that you cared. Dear brothers and sisters, I know some of you might be thinking, what's the point of this khutbah now? This khutbah should have been given some time ago. If you really cared, you would have prepared. You know, it's only a few days left. And I want to come back to the Jum'ah example. Hadith of Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu, which is also authentic, that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Man اغتسل يوم الجمعة غسل الجنابة ثم راح فكأنما قرب بدنا." The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever performs ghusl from janaba on Friday and then goes to the masjid, فكأنما قرب بدنا, it's as if he sacrificed a camel for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then he said, وَمَنْ رَاحَ فِي السَّاعَةِ الثَّانِيَةِ فَكَأَنَّمَا قَرَّبَ بَقَرَةً. And whoever goes in the second hour, it's as if he has sacrificed a cow. And then he said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, وَمَنْ رَاحَ فِي السَّاعَةِ الثَّالِثَةِ فَكَأَنَّمَا قَرَّبَ كَبْشَةً. Whoever goes in the third hour, we're talking about from the morning to Jum'ah. Some of you like, Jum'ah is 3 hours? No.